Hey there everybody on YouTube land, is LordBerry90 coming at you with a Transformers review of Generation Springer. I do apologize for the somewhat bad quality of the video because my lighting situation is kind of meh at the moment. But I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to show you as many of the details of the figure as possible. Anyway, as you can see, this is Generation Springer. He's a Voyager class. He's actually the very first experience with Springer, with a Springer figure that I've actually ever had, as I mentioned in my vlog yesterday. Now, when pictures first came out, about, I want to say almost a year ago, no, well, not really a year ago, but maybe 6 months ago, of this particular figure, my first thought of his vehicle mode was he's trying to copy the live-action movie Batmobile. Not the George Clooney guy, the Christian Bale guy. His vehicle, his Batmobile. The tank-like thing. At least that was my impersonation. His vehicle mode, in my opinion, kind of resembles a Batmobile. At least in my opinion. A lot of people didn't really care for this particular figure because of the fact that the way that he's designed, none of his tabs, very few of his tabs in vehicle mode want to click into place, especially in the green section here. They don't like to tab in at all. But aside from some of his flaws that he does have in both modes, I really like this figure, and I look forward to getting Blitzwing sometime in the future. To go over some of his accessories, before I go on to the actual figure, he's got a gun with 2 barrels, and it's a friction launcher. And by friction launcher, I mean that you push this button, and it launches the missiles by the power of friction, rather than a spring. And if you push the lever hard enough, these missiles will go flying across the room. I did that when I first opened this guy. I was playing with this, and I accidentally shot both missiles from one side of my room to the other right behind my bed. I had to move my bed just to get the missiles back, which was a pain. His other accessory, which is stored right here underneath his car mode, is his sword. His double-edged claymore. I assume it's a claymore. I know a lot about swords, but I don't know enough about swords to really classify some types. But I do believe this would be a Cybertronian claymore, since he's Cybertronian. Not really a lot I could say about this. I'm a very big fan of swords, and I like Transformers that use swords. Swords rock. They don't break down, and they don't jam like a gun would, or run out of ammo. It's constantly there. Anywho, back to the actual figure of Springer. I'm not doing another take of this, so I apologize for all my stutters, pauses, and sounds. I do that on almost all of my videos, so I apologize. I guess you could say it's kind of my thing. Anyway, there's not much I can really say about his vehicle mode. I really like the design of the spoiler here in the back, the split spoiler. I really like that. You don't see cars like that, with spoilers like that. It's really cool. Most people don't like that this flap back here has to sit up here. I mean, yes, it makes him level, but most people like to put it down like this to make it look more aerodynamic, I guess. It doesn't really bother me. I like it like that because when you have the gun in place, this kind of resembles a seat. And if you look really closely, it actually looks like it was designed to be a seat for somebody at some point. At least that's at least my thought. I could be wrong, but that's my thought. To transform him into helicopter mode, what I like to do first is I take the legs, or actually first, I take the landing gear in the bottom and I bring it all the way down. He has a landing gear here up at the front, but I don't really mess with it, except for taking him into robot mode. But anyway, you take the landing gear down like this. Grab the thigh. The foot section here on the wheel, and you rotate it, and at the same time you rotate the spoiler around and you click that into place. You do that on both sides. And click it into place. Bring the spoiler bits down where they're facing more like this. They were like this, but now they got to be like this. I mean, you could leave it like that, but what helicopter would be able to fly like that? Anyway, take this section right here with this silver paint app right here, push it out and rotate it around where it covers the tire. See how it looks on this side and on this side. And to mention what I said in my last video, in my vlog, I had this guy mistransformed in his helicopter mode. And I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to do this arm and this arm different. In other words, I'm going to do this arm incorrectly on purpose to show you guys what I'm talking about. After you have it folded over, you take this entire section and move it all the way to the back. Like this. Looks like this in car, like this in helicopter. I'm going to transform the right arm correctly off camera so that I can show you the difference in how it's supposed to look. Take it all the way back, move it to the back. Take the green part of the green cockpit of the car, untab it from the back. It's really stiff tab for some reason. There we go. Work it loose and accordion it all the way to the front where it now looks like this. Take the knees, or take the legs, bend them at the knees, down twice. You'll hear 2 clicks. If you do it quietly, you'll hear 2 clicks. Then bend at the hip section up, and this is supposed to tab. There's 2 holes right here, and there's 2 tabs right here. They line up, but they don't tab into place. That's the only other problem with his tabs. He's got tabs that don't like to go into place. Take his gun. This is why I don't take out his landing gear, because you can take his gun from vehicle mode, and with this tab right here, you put it into his underneath his cockpit where the landing gear goes, and he still sits level. He still sits just fine. Then you take his sword, plug it into this hole right here, It's a very tight, stiff hole. That sounds kind of wrong. Where now you have him basically sitting with a sword sticking out of the top of his vehicle mode. Then, if you have fingernails, which I sort of do, reach in the middle of the blade and split it all the way down. Take this green section here and fold it up and tab the blades into place. And here you have Springer in his helicopter mode. The propeller does spin very well, I might add. Of course, it makes a liar out of me. Spin it fast enough, the camera can't really see it until it slows down. Now, here's what I'm talking about as far as mistransformation in the arms. See the difference in length? Let me move over to where you can see from the light in the window. See the difference in length? This is correct. This is incorrect. What I did was I just transformed his left arm where it's still straight here, but the fin is too far in the back. His right arm is folded at a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here where the fin is closer to the front where it's supposed to be. To do that, all you have to do is if this is still straight, leave it straight, bend it here at this joint just below the elbow at a 90-degree angle, where it's like this, and then take this section where there's a slot right here and a tab right here, line those up and tab it into place. And now you have a properly transformed Springer in his helicopter form. And again, the gun attaches to just below the cockpit, and he still sits very level. His landing gear have wheels, but they're molded in. They're not actual wheels. It would have been nice if they were actual wheels, but I really like this guy. He's definitely one of my favorite. He's definitely one of my favorite Voyagers. Excuse me, I had a glass of milk. His colors are obviously the same. He's got sort of an almond color here, dark gray here in the back, yellow here for the cockpit and for the headlights of the car mode, green for the top half of the cockpit and basically the entire canopy, dark, kind of a mix between gunmetal gray and silver for the sword and helicopter blades, green for the handguard of the sword, dark gray for the arm section, green for the flaps here, the wings. That's pretty much it. He doesn't really have too many color differences from mode to mode to mode. He does have a very nice Autobot symbol right here. It's actually very, very small, but you can make it out. It's right here. I don't know how well the camera's I can see how the camera's showing it, but I don't know how well it's coming across for you guys. But, not really much I can say. I actually prefer his helicopter mode over his car mode, because I don't really have a lot of helicopter transformers. The first one I bought was the Cyberverse Blackout from the 2011 movie toy line. And he was my first helicopter transformer. My second one would be the Generations Fall of Cybertron Vortex. This one, Springer, being my third. And now, to take him into robot mode, fold this down. Basically, put his sword back together. And take the sword away. Take out his gun. I like to do I like to transform him from the foot up. I mean, that's just me. Most people do it from the top down, but I do it from the bottom up. Where you see where he's chicken leg, as a lot of reviewers like to call, straighten him out. Flip the feet forward and put the heel back. Do the same on this side. Flip the heel or the foot forward. Flip the heel spur back. Fold down the spoilers. And leave them alone at this point. Take the landing gear. Rotate them up just enough where you'll still have some room for his legs. Split his legs apart and straighten them out at the just above the knee section, because right above the knee section is where the legs have to actually kind of break in order to form either one of his vehicle modes. Take this flap here and fold it all the way up where it's out of the way. Next, you take this section, move it up a little bit where it's out of the way, but you're sort of lining it up for his chest, for his robot mode. Next, you straighten out his arms by detaching them from this section, folding them over like this. There's a tab right here that you can't really see. Just kind of tab that into place. Do that on both sides. Straighten it out. Line it up. Then you take these green sections on his forearms that are actually the windows for his car mode. Open them up. Take out his hands. And close the forearm back. Do the same on this side. Now, you want to take the landing gear from the helicopter mode out like this. Take his head out of his stomach. Lift it up where it looks like this. Then take the nose cone of the helicopter and bring it down like that. Straighten up his head. Take this yellow section, see this tab? There's a hole right here on both sides. You go ahead and line them all up where it looks like this. And then untab the arms from this particular section on both sides. Then you take these yellow parts here, see where the line is right here? You take these, and again, use your fingernails if you got them. Lift them all the way up until they click into place, and then bend them at an angle. Same with this side, lift it all the way up till it clicks into place, and bend at an angle. Get everything adjusted. And this is what I like to do, take the spoiler section, rotate it around, and wrap it around the back of his leg. I don't know how everyone else does their Springer figure, but that's how I do it, because that way his legs look more uniform, at least in my opinion. And this is basically Springer in his robot mode. Again, his accessories are his sword, which you plug into his hand here, and his double-barreled pistol, or blaster, whatever you want to call it. Plug it into his other hand here. And I really like this because the handle for the gun, the hand grip, is adjustable. So you could angle it down or angle it up. Do pretty much however you want. For my first experience with a Springer figure, I am very impressed and I am very, very pleased. For his articulation, he's got a ball joint in the neck for his head, and a swivel joint in the jaws for his head, where he can look up and look down. He can look all the way around like an owl, if you so wanted. His shoulders can move in and out. I'll do it this way. They can move in and out, all the way around. He rotates just above the elbow. He's got ratchet joints in the elbow, very nice ratchet joints. He's got wrist articulation. He has waist articulation, but I don't use it very much because it's very, very stiff and I don't want to break him. His legs go way out at the hips. He rotates at the upper part of the thigh. Bends at the knee. Again, very nice ratchet joints. You could say that he has foot articulation, but that's due to the transformation. And that's pretty much it. He's got the same amount of green and yellow in his robot mode as his previous two vehicle modes. Yeah, there's not really much else I can say about this guy. I really recommend that you pick him up. He cost me $22.20 or $25.20 at Walmart. And I don't regret paying that price because he's a really great figure and a really great addition to any Transformers collection if you don't already have this guy. Those are my thoughts on Generations Voyager Class Triple Changer Autobot Springer. This is Lord Bear 90 signing off for now.